Righteous thoughts and how they lead to anger, angry words, and angry deeds. How often have we had thoughts that have led to words that lead to regrets and arguments with loved ones that have had consequential outcomes, unintended consequential outcomes, possibly arguments that lead to families not talking, loved ones not talking. I think that's a common thing. Now, we can see that, I think, in workplaces, in friendships, and I think we can see that in international politics. Well, what's been happening between Europe and America, between Canada and America, Ukraine and America. And there's a righteousness that's there on all sides that is often regrettable. And I think there's some evil, consequential people there in Donald Trump and Elon Musk, who themselves, without doubt, are rude, unpleasant, and evil people. And J.D. Vance, who's just a nasty little bully's weasel. But let's take those unpleasant actors out of it. Let's take the administration out of it. Let's just say there are people of the United States that are themselves feeling righteous at the moment, that have, and not just looking to Donald Trump to think that evil man's on our side, he's our Dr. Evil, we're going to get something out of this, we've got evil on our side. You know, there are people who are rationalizing what's happening in a righteous way, who feel that America has been hard done. And of course, there are people in Europe that feel that they've now been betrayed and have been let down. There are certainly people in Ukraine who feel betrayed and let down, people close to Ukraine that are being betrayed and let down. And there are certainly people in Asia looking on who are saying, did you not see this coming? Did you really not think that NATO was a sham and this was not going to come? And maybe some people in Europe are thinking, we've been hedging the wrong side or something like that. But anyway, there's a sense of righteous indignation that's across the world at the moment. And how much of that is often do we have as private individuals? That we could be getting along quite well with loved ones. You know, we're in love. We're certainly best of friends with our partners. That we enjoy each other's company and we're enjoying ourselves. And then for some reason we pick up on a bone with righteous indignation. We believe there is something there, a thread that needs to be pulled upon, an idea that we need to, something wrong or right, there's a left or right, there's something that, you know, it is literally left or right, you know, both sides are wrong or right, and if we are to appreciate alternative views, you know, the point is it's pulling at threads. And once we look at ideas and we look back at things, we can see the self-destructiveness. It's, if in doubt, don't act out, with something line management might have said to me in the workplace. And I would see myself as someone who wanted to have passion at work. So therefore I would see as something as righteous or wrong. There was a driving force. And of course not everybody at work went to work to have those passions. And I would look sometimes for workplaces where I could have an argument. And I thought that was because I was looking for that intellectual stimulus, and possibly maybe that's where it comes from, even in the home environment with loved ones. You pull at a thread because of boredom. So, and it leads to thoughts, lead to words, lead to actions that can lead to regrets, and that leads to falling out. And it's not even standing up against bullies. I mean, I've certainly been in a workplace where I've had a line manager who is a whatever, and it's got under my skin, and I've treated him like that. And to use this Trumpian scenario situation at the moment, workplace is transactional. You deal with it. If you've got a boss whose whole experience is not necessarily the transactional effects of customer services or of production processes or of quality product development and services development, but purely is the elevation of their ego and of hierarchies and their sense of identity based upon their credibility as you being a fool and your humiliation, that they have to pick and bully upon subservient staff. It is about hierarchies. Then do you pick at them and fight back and stand against them, or do you say, this is purely transactional, my boss is an a-hole to yourself, you recognize it, you don't rudiment on it, and therefore take voice to it and action to it, you smile at it, even if he's been verbally abusive, as long as it's not totally soul destroying, if you can look back and smile at him so that you can recognize and others and he can recognize he's making a fool of himself, that he walks away, then you can find some way of winning. I was in a warehouse, and a warehouse manager came up to a group of us doing our work, and instead of pointing out a quality of work that he was required, he just shouted and berated us. And I just gave him a smile like I'm giving right now to the camera, as in to say, I can see exactly what you are, matey. I understand what you're saying. I'm taking it in, but I'm also projecting, reflecting back to you that I know that you are a bully and a twat, and the fact that I'm smiling shows that I'm not intimidated by you in the slightest. So you're not acting out. Now, you could also act timid and cowardly. Is that not the thing to do? If you're in a school playground and someone's bullying you, you learn to crouch up, pull down, take a couple of kick-ins, and even let the bully's little brother stick the boot in a bit. Isn't that one at J.D. Vance's Lady Dance? Let Lady Dance slap his handbag at you. And that's what you have to do, you know. I think that's the thing. So what's going to happen in the world? Americans want to pull apart. The rest of the world knows we cannot just stick the finger up at them and say we're going to pull apart. We will pull apart. It will be the demise of the American empire. A good riddance to it. We don't expect our leaders to say that. We expect our leaders to give every courtesy and dignity and maintain as much dignity as they can, and then make wartime preparations and try and avoid any targets to make sure there are not too many kickings. Do this when we need to, and walk away and make new alliances, and recognize that, for one thing, for example, we say to ourselves that NATO only once had a call to arms, and that was after 9/11, and it turned out it was a false flag operations, that the country we went to war with for weapons of mass destructions was a false flag. And there's never been an operation before or since except for that called by the USA. There will be no more NATO operations. And that's what we'll accept. There's going to be North America. I don't know where Canada's going to be. Maybe it's going to associate itself with Europe. There's going to be Western Europe. There's going to be Russia. There's going to be China. Asia, which is going to be India and China. And then there's going to be a lot of Asian countries who are going to say to themselves, we're on no one's side but our own. And there's going to be a need a lot for local militarization or a lot for regional alliances. And we're all going to say calmly, none of us are going to act out. We're just going to stay calm and smile and not have any conflicts. And I'm going to learn to remind myself and remind my wife that I love her deeply, and that we're going to avoid picking on any unnecessary threads where I think I see a shortcoming on the delivery by my sons and their contributions to the family. I will accept it. I will not pick at the thread. I will not think upon it too much. I will not speak it out loud. I will remind myself with gratitude to everything that I have, with ongoing love. All right, everybody, look after your families, look after your friends, look after each other, and potentially stay antiseptic. Keep the world safe, always. Bye.